the great conflict of the 21st century. The fall of the world's major progressive leaders has left a power vacuum. Politicians like Justin Trudeau in Canada, Emmanuel Macron in France, Olaf Scholz in Germany, and others in countries like the Netherlands and England, or in Spain with Pedro Sanchez in a government plagued by corruption, and of course the disaster of the Democratic Party in the United States, mark a new political and cultural era in the West. Meanwhile, progressivism seems to falter in the face of a resurgence of conservative movements. In this context, Donald Trump is at the head of this revival of the global right, after his return to the political scene with a victory that has raised enormous expectations. On the other hand, Pope Francis, at a time when the global left is in decline, is positioning himself as the most influential leader of progressivism and woke ideology. No one doubts that Pope Francis has transformed his pontificate into a platform for promoting left-wing ideologies and movements, applying them in his pastoral work to transform the Church in his modernist zeal. The confrontation between Trump and Francis promises to be the great ideological, political and spiritual conflict of our time. The fight has already begun. On Trump's side, the appointment of Brian Birch, the head of the conservative Catholic political advocacy group Catholic Vote, as ambassador to the Holy See. As a staunch pro-life Catholic and defender of traditional values, he represents for the Vatican a clear strategic step to strengthen relations with conservative circles of Catholicism. Pope Francis, for his part, has not stood idly by. His recent appointment of Cardinal Robert McElroy as Archbishop of Washington, one of the most important dioceses of the Catholic Church in the United States and perhaps the world, sends a strong signal. McElroy, known for his support of LGBT issues, immigration, and progressive ideologies, is however also accused of delaying for a year the dismissal of a priest from the San Diego diocese who had pleaded guilty to what his victim called satanic ritual abuse. McElroy is also a symbol of the woke approach of the current pontificate. This appointment is more than ecclesiastical, it is a political statement that directly challenges the values represented by Trump. This confrontation is not only political, it is also cultural and spiritual. Donald Trump, although not Catholic, is surrounded by advisors and deeply religious people committed to the protection of life, the Christian family, the fight against gender ideologies, and the 2030 agenda. On the other side, Pope Francis has broken with many conservative traditions of the Church and has adopted an openly inclusive and modernist attitude. At this moment, he appears not only as a religious leader, but as the main bearer of progressive ideologies in a world in profound cultural and moral crisis. The struggle between these two visions could not be more significant. On one side, modernist theology and the woke agenda, led by Francis. On the other, the conservative revival, led by Trump. The outcome of this fight will determine the direction of the Church, politics, and society in the 21st century. The big question is this the end of the era of progressive ideologies in the world and of modernist theology under Pope Francis at the Vatican? Or is it the beginning of the final decline of the conservative revival? January 20th marks the beginning of this fight. The stage is set for the Great World Colosseum, where ideologies will clash like never before. This is not just a confrontation, it is a cultural war that transcends borders and that, in a way, will decide not only the future of the Church, but also that of our culture. This is the Toxin of the Vendée. Leave a like and share the video if you liked it. Goodbye, dear warriors in the Lord, and may God bless you.